collective and community. And I am joined by the amazing Patricia Grieco. I hope I said that right, Patricia.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
perfect.
Patricia is a founder, or sorry, Patricia is a trailblazer in our Toronto West branch, and she is a real estate expert. She is a wealth of information, and we are here today with her to talk about, growing families and the current real estate market. And so, a great conversation that we're going to have today, I'm sure. But Patricia, do you want to share a little bit about yourself first, and let us know, who you are, what you've done, where you've come from, and all that good stuff?
Perfect. So I am originally from Buenos Aires, Argentina, South America. I came to Canada in 2003. I was already working in real estate in my personal deals back home, but I'm also an accountant for trade. So I have been doing accounting as a chartered accountant for over 30 years. My decision to be doing real estate as a business is because I realized especially when I came to Canada and we started purchasing our first property, then we changed and bought the second property and we started investing ourselves in real estate. That is a great way to build equity for families, and especially because in Canada, you have the banks that are your partners basically in the investment, which is not normally the case in other countries. So here you can come up with 20% of down payment and invest in a property, which could be also your shelter, because that's the way the families start investing in their own home, which is a great way to invest because you need a home anyways, and instead of paying rent, you decide to go ahead, save some money, and then put a down payment, and you start paying and building equity that way.
Mm-hmm.
I realized, because I also work as an accountant for over 15 years in Canada for big commercial real estate players like Brookfield and Colliers, and I saw also the ways the companies were making money with real estate, and I wanted to help people to start making money and equity as we did here in Canada. And I'm more a people person, so I decided to leave the corporate world and start helping families like us, that even families that are new to the country, because that's also one of my expertise, to help people who are new to the country to start building their own equity and to start qualifying to get a mortgage here, which is obviously a challenge at the beginning, but then you realize why you are living in Canada. Because we take it for granted here, but it's not really so easy in other countries.
Right.
So that's why my decision to change careers, and I'm only doing accounting for my family now. I'm totally focused full-time broker in real estate, and because I enjoy the process and I try to take out the anxiousness of people and all the burden of looking for a new home, also qualifying for the mortgage, and understanding, having clarity on which are the goals of the family, because sometimes it's difficult to understand ourselves as individuals, and we have to get clarity on our own goals. And then imagine if you have a family of 4 that obviously they are growing in different stages in life, and you have to make them live all in one home. So there are a lot of conversations that have to happen until we understand which is the best option for that family.
Yeah. What I love so much about what you bring to real estate, Patricia, and I've like this, I felt this so long, like since I met you, that you really bring purpose and love to what you do. And you want to help other families. I mean, when you talk about newcomers to Canada, especially because you were there, right? And also about like growing their net worth and making smart choices when they come and not knowing, 100%. And also people that have been here for so long or were born here, helping them as well, like going into this with the idea of making this a smart financial decision. And I love that you know so much about that on the accounting side too,
Mhm.
right? And so it's coming from both worlds. I love that. So talk to us a little bit about, let's start with where the current market is right now and why it
Mhm.
is a challenge for growing families. Like what is
Mhm.
actually
Well, during COVID, we all realized we needed more space, and so the families, most of the families are doing homeschooling back and forth and working from home. So you need more than 2 desks at home, sometimes computers and space because everybody has to focus on different tasks, on different jobs. So people started realizing that they couldn't live in a condo anymore. They wanted more space. Some people were moving outside of the city, but because we are all moving in the same direction, so the condo market is a bit weak right now, which is
happening?
a good opportunity for somebody looking to invest in the condo market. But the homes, most of the homes have 14 offers each home. So 14 families are going for the same home, which makes all the prices go crazy because people are paying for the homes which they were not expecting to pay for that particular home. No, so in the last 6 months, we saw a change in the market that is really unprecedented because uh, people are paying 20 to 30% over asking prices, and I'm, for instance, personally, I'm helping my daughter find her first house, and she bought a condo, and she's finding that challenge because it's difficult to come with a budget that is not so bad, like 1 million, 1 million, 3, and it's tough to find something really in good shape for that kind
Mhm.
of budget. So, and also we have the situation where a lot of properties that were in the Airbnb market or rental market, they are divided in different units. They are coming on sale now, and maybe some people are looking into those homes, but they have to put a lot of money to make them convert into a single family home, or they are not in good shape. So it adds to the burden of people looking for a new home. No?
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's interesting. I have heard that the condo market, like prices of condos have gone down, but houses with land and property have gone up. So
Mhm.
really, really interesting. And so really it's the growing families that are finding it the most challenging. And so what are some ways that you've been able to help families recently in this, having this challenge?
Yeah. Well, the positive side is that the interests haven't been as low for years. So I think
Yeah.
it's the lowest we have seen so far. And also I have contacts with mortgage brokers that you can find a way to put a lower down payment or to have a different structure to the loan so people can afford to pay a little bit more for the home. And that's the way we have to look into ways to make it happen, or even looking into different spots in the city, because obviously we all love different very demanded spots but are the most pricey spots, but there are other options that are really and even a bit out of the city in the GTA that are not so hot, so we can explore those different neighborhoods. And another challenge is the schools, because depending on which neighborhood you move to, the schools you have access to change. And it's a bit sad, but it's not so even for people or for neighborhoods to have the same quality of public schools. And we should do more about it in Canada, because I believe that would improve people's lives in general, because you don't have to
Yeah.
move because you want a better school. You
Right.
maybe we have to, that's something as a country we have to, as a province we have to improve, no, quite a lot, because from one neighborhood to the other, the quality of the schools change quite dramatically, and that makes
Mhm.
puts another challenge to the parents looking for a home, no.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, so looking at different areas, looking at like maybe I mean, as you said, right, houses in Toronto are, they just keep rising. And so if one is in Toronto and they don't like no longer need to be fixated here,
Yes.
right? So many
Mhm.
people are making the choice to move out. And I mean, I've seen so many people sharing like what they got, you know, outside of the city. And I'm like, wow, like, right? Compared to what we're doing here in Toronto. So and I'm sure that you've seen some like lifestyle shifts happening for people as well, right? In addition to more space.
Yes. So the positive, which are a lot of positive things about this, that we spend more time with our families and we got
Mm-hmm.
to understand a bit more what we needed from life because we were so busy in our jobs and going commuting from one place to the other that sometimes we didn't pay attention to things we really like or we want to share as a family. So people
Right.
moving out have the opportunity to have more space, more parks around, more time for soccer, for skating, or doing any sport they like, biking. And yeah, that's a positive about this, that most of the companies are trying to do at least partially working from home options. So that is much better for parents and
Mm-hmm.
gives the opportunity to share more time with their kids also, because when you have to commute from downtown to Oakville, let's say, you cannot make the soccer team game, or but if you are 2 or 3 times a week at home, it's easier for
Mm-hmm.
parents to share those experiences with kids. And also going to a more like a suburb instead of going into downtown, you have more parks and more communities sharing time together, and you find a different type of life. Yeah, the lifestyles of people are changing really very fast, and I believe it's for the better, because
Mm-hmm.
life is about experiences, and if you have more time with your loved ones, that's the best, I believe. And also, as I said, the banks and mortgage brokers have become more creative on finding ways to help people even when they buy something before they sell, because when we experience a seller's market, we have to make sure we have somewhere to move in before we sell the property, because it's easier to sell than to buy. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another challenge, and in that sense, I help many families, and they are a bit scared and trying to figure out how they can buy first. And there are some products in the market to help them reach that time between they buy the first home and they can sell their second home, now their current home,
Yeah.
and helping them getting the most of the current situation. If they own a property, trying to put all myself there to do staging and all good marketing and trying to sell the best way possible. So the gap between the two homes becomes much smaller. And that's their debt also, no? Their debt is not so crazy and they can manage. And it's for me, I'm passionate about that because I see the human side of the business. It's not just, I don't do that just for money. I do it because I have been there. As I said, my kids are there now. And I think it's very important to have somebody that cares, no, that really understands the stress and the worries family have, or even the kids. Yeah, I I have my grandkids, so I can understand the little ones when they think, oh, I'm moving from my house and I had a tree house, for instance. I cannot move my tree house to the other house, and you have to work on those thoughts also on them, because they have to enjoy the moment.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I love, and I can so see that too. Like you go about your business with heart, which is so important. And I mean, when I talk to you, I see someone who, first of all, like moved countries, right? Like early in your life, and came here and then navigated the system and found a way to not only like, I mean, there's people that have been here their whole life and don't totally understand the accounting and all of that. So the fact that you know that fully, and also, you know, really have made so many great things happen for yourself in terms of real estate investing, that I just feel like I just trust what you say so much. And that's such a great feeling to have when speaking to someone in your industry. And so I love that you just look at the whole picture. And really, like when we're looking at one of the thoughts that came to mind was if someone is you know, leaving Toronto and selling property here in Toronto, they could technically, with the condo market being sold out, like I'm sure every situation is different, but possibly purchase an investment as well as, you know, a place to live that's outside of the city and really have the best of both worlds financially, right?
For sure. Yeah. And we have to look forward because this situation is only for now. And when we have Toronto is open for business again for tourism, and also a lot of people are waiting because I know by experience that I know people in Mexico waiting for their papers to come to live in Toronto. Those people are coming to buy, and they are coming at the beginning. People who buy or rent, they buy condos or they rent condos. So we have to look over this problem so further with the positive outlook, and the prices in condos will not stay like this for a long time, will be maybe 6 more months. So if somebody is trying to invest in, even if you don't own your home, but you say, I cannot buy a property that holds the whole family, but I can buy a condo so you can rent it out, is the perfect time now to invest in the first property. And that's how we started with the townhouse also on paper, because it was a pre-construction, which is a good way also to start investing. And now, you know, we have already invested in several properties. But when we look back, we said, okay, we were so shy going with the first down payment. And we had only our first jobs in Canada. So, but we did it, and we thought, and we were faithful, which is the best thing you can do in life. You have to trust, and you have to be hopeful, and that everything works out at the end, and you know, being positive and thinking on a life that you can build in Canada. And again, this is not happening everywhere in the world, and we are very very blessed to be living in this country.
I love it. I love how you look at it, and honestly, like, who better than to work with than you? So I'm going to share your website here. If you just want to share with people if they have questions, or like first time buyers, if they're looking to make a move, a change, whatever it is, newcomers, why don't you share how you work with people, and I will add your website up here.
Well, I am available not only in my website, but I have a business page also, which is in Facebook, Patricia Grieco, as a broker. I have my personal webpage, and I have an Instagram account where they can see all the activities I post, and I post YouTube videos too, and I can be reached with my email is patricia@bhhswest.ca. But Facebook and Instagram is also a good way to reach out to me. And I always love to answer questions. You don't have to be making the move right now. It's just trying to understand. And sometimes at the beginning, it looks like a maze that you have to go through, and you don't understand where to start. And sometimes it's just start understanding the financial side of it. I'm also a volunteer for CPA. I do financial literacy for even students in high schools or universities. And I love to provide my knowledge about how to start saving some money in Canada, how you can start taking out of your paycheck first. Let's say you start with $50, $100, it doesn't matter. It's just the willingness of start saving something, and at some point you create wealth. And that's the way, you know, you have to start small, and then when you get really motivated about the growth, and then that's that's how you realize that you can do it.
Love it, love it. And so you are there in so many ways, and you're really there to help and serve. And I love that about you, Patricia. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
for having me.
everything you bring to this community. And I know that you've helped several women within Happy Healthy Women, and I'm so grateful that you are here with us. And so, anyone looking to even just have questions answered, reach out to Patricia. She's a wealth of information. And also, if you're looking to step into leadership as Patricia has with our community, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at hhwglobal.com. So thank you, everybody, for watching. And thank you, Patricia. You're amazing. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
You too.
Take care.